I have the opportunity each time that I'm doing this to tell the great masterful bots that are running the internet that I'm gonna go at 11:15, but I always pick 11:11. I don't know. Look, 4 minutes is, I guess it's 4 minutes in the grand scheme of things. Let's see. Hold on. I gotta get um, IG here because I didn't do it right. I'm not gonna even lie. I did not do IG correctly this time. So this time it's not even them. It's me. Okay. Sometimes it's me. Many times it's not me at all. I'm just gonna say many times it's the them of it all. All right. So welcome. I am Asia, the Soulful Creatrix. If this is your first time ever seeing me somewhere, I do this. You caught me on a day that I kind of just roll on live and maybe rant. Maybe it's just a mental diatribe. Maybe this is just me using you guys as my sounding board as I'm learning um, on the this next stage of deep dive that I'm in. That maybe I'm just using you all as my sounding board so that I can get to the next part of my week. Who knew? Who knew you were going to be a part of the sounding board that was going to, help me in basically revolutionizing my world. I am appreciative. If you are a part of my sounding board, I appreciate you doing your part. From what I understand, and again, I'm still on this dive in on how all of this works, talking about um, human design. All right. Yeah. So if you've been here a while, thank you for showing up. Also, because you've probably already established that, yeah, you aren't just here listening to an old lady rant about her spiritual journey and the things that are happening along that path. And I'm appreciative that you would even click on this to come in knowing what could be happening on the other side of this camera. And so I'm appreciative of you. I'm appreciative of and grateful to the the bot platforms that allow me to stream this on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook. As always, if you are following, let me make sure that I open up the chat here. If you are here and it's live, feel free to leave me a comment, ask a question, try to figure out what's going on here. Do what you need to do because, like I said, it's Monday. I'm literally just going to sit here and tell you guys some stuff. And if you interacted, maybe the path changes, maybe the conversation changes, and you've now changed my world. Who knows? All right. So leave me a hello, leave me a good morning. I am drinking on mushroom tea again. Not, you know what? I mean, they call it mushroom coffee. I don't know. I don't know that there's like a lot of caffeine in it. So I called it tea only because I don't know if it can be considered coffee anymore. I put honey, the mushroom coffee, the honey, and some MCT oil. So it's like a coconut oil, like MCT oil. Get some brain going. Apparently, the fats are necessary for me. Okay, I need the good fats. I am in my crone years. All right. So the good fats are going to keep me going, keep all of my neurons myelinated, fatty, and cushioned so that, I'm able to just keep firing off with this big projector brain apparently that I got going on. But this mouth, though, I know. It is what it is. So yeah, mushroom coffee. And what am I reading? I don't have I don't have a hard copy of what I'm reading because I'm listening this round on Audible. And I probably should have had that ready because I knew I was going to have to let you know what it is that I'm reading. First of all, um, for my uh, guilty pleasure, um, like I told you before, I love a good fantasy romance. I love, shifter romance type stuff. I went on a deep dive and found this shifter romance type fantasy genre. I'm here for it. I love a good shifter romance. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. If it's a dragon and she's got four mates, I'm down with it because that should be me. I should be the dragon with the four mates. Okay. If it's a werewolf shifter alpha female and she's stuck in jail, which is where I am now. So I am reading Alpha Wolf. It's a part of this whole series that Caroline, who was it? Caroline Peckham and what's the other chick? Uh, Susan Valenti. Yeah, Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valenti have like this series, like this world gone, and it's good writing. Okay, I don't think that it's like young adult. At first I thought it was when I like did the Zodiac Academy. I thought it was young adult, but no, it's not young adult at all. Do not get it for your kids, okay? It's not young adult. All right. Yeah, so now I'm on like the penitentiary, Darkmoor penitentiary series. Okay. And I'm listening to it, and I listen to it when I'm walking the dog, when I'm standing in line. This is just what I do. Also, I am now that's my guilty pleasure stuff. All right. Okay. It's the smut that is feeding my inner, okay. That's what that's doing. All right. I know my shadow side. Okay. And she likes fantasy romance with a hard, sexual edge to it. Okay. So just understand. I know me. I'm feeding both sides. All right. Now for the light side, I digressed. For the light side of of my reading, for the brainy portion of me, I am reading on becoming an empowered projector. Okay. And that one is by Evelyn. Nope. Evelyn, what's her name? Levinson, I think. Evelyn Levinson, which is, by the way, hard to say. Okay. I thought Aliacia Taylor was hard, but Evelyn Levinson is hard to say. But that being said, because I've been on this dive into like the human design portion and like specifically my human design, which I've learned as a mental projector is something that I probably would have gonna be likely to do at some point very soon in life as I'm coming up on my Chiron return. Okay. I'm apparently just, rolling through doing what I would have just done. Okay. Which leads me to believe I'm aligned. All right. But as I've been on this journey, and this kind of, good segue in, oh my gosh, my poor camera lens. This kind of segues in, no, it's really a camera lens. No, seriously, see? Okay. This segues in to where I kind of wanted to go this week as far as my update for this week, because I've been on the dive, right? I think when you're in human design, they call it an experiment, like you're living the experiment. Yes, it still seems a little cultish to me, but I am still working through. I told you how I feel about gurus, okay? So not like something that I'm trying to, encompass, not really trying to lead you into a cult, but as far as figuring out a way to incorporate like several different modalities into one, the I Ching, the Tree of Life, Sephira, the zodiac, astrological timing and periods, and I feel like there was something else that it's also kind of incorporating. When you're incorporating a bunch of different things into one, I like that. I like how it seems that it's all related, and it's something that I probably do try to do myself. I dive all over the place when it comes to looking at things spiritually and metaphysically, and seeing a program or a process or a platform that puts it all together and it makes sense. Let me turn on my light. And it makes sense. I'm here for it. Anyway, so I've been on the dive. I call it I'm doing an experiment because as I'm doing these deep dives, I like to really deep dive, right? And I think that's what made getting the PhD so fun, because I was able to deep dive like all over the place, which is how I found out about my ability to embrace vibrational energy, the luminous energy field, and sound healing. Okay. I feel like you don't know what you don't know until you go looking for it. Now, if you know it and then you look for it and then you feel it and then it becomes something that you do know, you've upgraded. And so that's all it is. It's a constant upgrade. I feel like I'm in on a computer tech type of lover boy Josh. I feel like I'm in on a computer tech type of what are they called, simile type of a thing today, where it's like, yeah, we are upgrading, we are these computers. I am doing a lot of downloading and I am kind of deep diving in, and these deep dives kind of end up being downloads. Okay, whatevs, I'm just gonna go with it. All right, so yes, right now currently the human design portion of everything, if I need to get you up to speed, here's what we've learned. I'm a mental projector, a 4/6 mental projector. And I only have two energy centers that are defined. I have no other energy centers defined except for this head and this mouth. MOUF. Yes. This head, this mouth. All right. Which basically means that I am really good at thinking the things through, getting it churn up here in the mental, and pretty good at getting it out, the mouth portion, right? We're gonna tell you what we've learned up here. So again, if you're here and you're watching this, then yes, you have now become a part of the alignment. That is me working in the experiment of human design, but also me looking at different ways and methodologies in which I personally am living in alignment with the journey that I'm here to do. So even before the human design deep dive that I started on, if you go back to my February, maybe way back, don't go, it's cringe. If you want to take the ride, okay? But if you go back to like February, March, when I first started doing these, because I wanted to really document and I wanted to do the active devotion that is showing up every week, okay? I spoke about aligning with my journey, my purpose, okay? So everything that I've been doing is in the hopes or with the intention of aligning with my purpose, okay? So that's pretty much where we are. That being said, girl, like, this last week was a doozy, like a huge doozy, okay? I learned about myself not only from like going through the shadow work that we had worked. I'm on a alchemical journey, right? And so I was working through the different steps of the alchemical journey, which leads me to the red and white rose, the white and red rose, and that alignment and that energized version of me that aligns with my purpose, with my passions, and allows me to create this new world, right? So that was then. This week comes through, shit starts going crazy. All right. Somehow I ended up allowing somebody into my house, which I don't normally do. If you know me, you know I don't normally do that. Someone's like, hey, I am out destitute. I am on the street. I need, a place to stay. I do not normally say, hey, why don't you come and sleep on my couch? I don't do that. That's not me. That's why, because the way that I absorb and process and deal in energy, okay? I can't even sleep with somebody in my bed next to me half the time. I don't sleep. If there's somebody in my bed next to me, I'm not going to sleep, okay? I'm the woman that's going to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and put on my stuff and leave so that I can go and be in my bed away from everybody, right? But this week I said, sure. Last week I said, sure. I have a couch and a shower that you can use for a couple of days. While you're figuring out, maybe you just need like a landing space. And I have a landing space for a couple of days. Okay. I mentioned it is not ideal for other people to want to be in my space. Okay. Because my space is created for me. And sometimes as an afterthought, the fact that I do have a teenager who I'm living with also. But this is how I see it, okay? My teenager is coming towards her exit portion, right? Like I'm kind of in the empty nesting portion, right? And the mindset of she's going to be with me forever is not anymore it's not realistic, right? Because I bring her into, or my children into the world for them to then create on their journey, their path, and they move forward. Okay. That might not include living with me. Okay. So when I created my space, it was with the idea that no, she might not always be here. Okay. I need to be able to have a space where I'm going to be able to live for me. Okay. So it does sometimes seem like, she's an afterthought, and that is not intentional. She's never an afterthought. It's just more along the lines of, in the next 5 years, she could choose on her path to be away, right? To go somewhere else, to live her journey. Her journey might take her to Cambodia, right? On some type of mission to, create a farm. I don't know. Okay. But if she gets her call and I'm here by myself, why would I create a space where it needs an additional person? I think that makes sense. That's all I'm going to say about that, because I think it makes sense. Okay. It's just how I live. All right. I live in a very temporary, things change. I'm kind of a flow type of person, but at the same time, I am, like I said, this brain is going to give me a pragmatic outlook on it. Right. So when you're working with me, just understand there's going to be a pragmatic outlook on a flow state. Okay. So I said to the person, sure, come hang out for a couple of days as you need it in my space. And true to form, look, again, if you know me, you know, but true to form, less than 24 hours, and she felt the need to diagnose me with a bunch of additional issues that I don't necessarily have. Now, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I don't necessarily have the issues that she wanted to diagnose me with, only because it did feel energetically like a projection, right? She was projecting what she felt I had, only because that's kind of what humans do. Humans, project, right? And I said, thank you for the mirror. because it did feel to me as if a mirror was being held up. And it wasn't the mirror of what she was saying is correct. It was the mirror for me. And this is where it went like, okay. Because it was the mirror for me of living as a mental projector in a society that does not want my inputs. All right. Now, whether my inputs are right or whether my inputs are wrong or how I'm presenting them, that's not really the question right now, okay? Because, yeah, sometimes it's just like kind of blurted out, right? And that's what I've been working on, is not blurting out my inputs, right? Not everybody wants to hear that shit. That's what I'm learning, okay? And that's pretty much the one thing I've learned in this experiment that I've been on as far as the human design aspect of it, right? Is that projectors, we're supposed to wait for the invitation. I did a whole video. I did the video on, oh gosh, I'm hoping that that's okay. I don't know. Did my sound go away? I don't know. I'm hoping my sound is fine. Woo! Hoping the sound is okay. We'll have to see. Because something just popped up. I don't know. If you can hear me, shake your head. Okay. Oh, what was I saying? I got sidetracked. Oh, yeah. So I did a whole video about how projectors were kind of the we're like the black women of the world here, right? Where we have great ideas. We are very good at spicing things up, making things right, putting things in order, showing you where something, should go if you want this, like I said, in auditor speak. I mean, that was a perfect type of a gig, right? You give me the criteria, I'm going to show you where you are not in line with your criteria. Okay. So that was me in projector mode, getting a mirror shown to me where this woman comes in and starts kind of just like blabbing out like stuff that she felt. And in her heart, I felt this. She was not aware of how she was presenting what she was presenting, okay, in her diagnosis of me, okay. I get that, right? I get it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to be like, oh, okay, well, thank you for saying these things, and whatever. I told her, thank you for the mirror. This is how it is. I explained to you, amply before you got here that this is not a space that you're going to want to stay in, okay? Specifically because I don't create spaces that other people want to stay in, okay? This is my space. The more people that come up in the space, the less I get to sleep, right? The more I gotta, work on, managing the energy inputs of other people. I don't need that, all right? It's how I'm designed, I learned, all right? So guys, I learned that this is how I'm designed. I have only 2 energy centers. All the rest of this is just me processing everybody else's stuff. I'm designed this way, guys. Sorry. All right. So that being said, I wanted to, oh goodness, paying for limiting beliefs. That was last week's. Hold on. I didn't even realize that I had done that. What are we on? Bitter broad syndrome. An elemental. There. That's where we are. I mean, I hope that the people who saw that weren't like, oh man, she's just like, she's just like, I had to change that, because no, that's how we get to this week. Okay, 25 minutes in is bitter broad syndrome. All right. So like I mentioned, I was reading the book by Evelyn Levinson. All right. And she went very eloquently into the not self versus projecting self of the projector. Okay. And if you are new to this, if this is something that you already know, I apologize. Maybe cut this part off for now. But if you are new to this, then just know, okay, projectors our show ourselves, if you're a projector, okay, we show ourselves our not selves, the opposite of ourselves. Are like, we have our higher self, and then we have like our not self, right? Okay, so we show our not self in the form of bitterness, and bitterness can come in many different flavors. Okay, there's like a lot of different flavors of bitterness. All right, so now this is the lower vibrational portion of our energy. All right, when we're in the higher vibrational portion of our energy, we are successful, creating, um, feeling good, okay, sleeping well, all of these things, okay. The not the lower portion, our not self, we're bitter, okay, and that's how it's just gonna play out, okay. So this bitter broad syndrome topic, it resonated with me, okay, because as I'm sitting there last week, I'm realizing this week is my week for hanging with the community. Here it comes, and how maybe I showed up as bitter, not only in like my community work, but also in business, let's say, because if I'm offering stuff, putting myself out there, putting it out there, showing, hey guys, just look, like woman did coming into my house, right? Hey, this is this, and I can help you do this, and I can make this better, and you can make a better choice, blah blah blah, right? Because I think that you're blah blah blah, right? And then I get the feedback of, no, bitch, we don't want that. Like, we don't want that. We don't want anything you've got to offer right now, right? There does come this feeling of rejection, of bitterness. And I think originally it flowed back to the limiting beliefs, right, that we talked about before, right? What our shadow self needs in order for us to grow, right? And I realized I spent a lot of my life in the bitter portion of the spectrum. Because I started off with a bunch of children, right, that aren't going to listen to what I have to say, right? Like, that was already, like, I had already set myself up, okay, with all these kids that weren't going to listen to what I had to say. So, of course, I was going to begin to feel that bitterness, right? But then B, I ended up in relationships where I picked the person that I was in the relationship with, right? I thought I was being a progressive broad, okay? I thought that I was helping the people come to me by not being so intimidating looking, right? I thought I was going beyond my RBF, my resting bitch face, and presenting the opportunity to be with me and bringing them in, okay? And in doing that, I did not wait for any invitations. And in hindsight, I did not receive any. I just went out and did what I had to do. Like, I was like, okay, this is how I'm going to get my person. This is how I'm going to get this. This is how I'm going to get that. And in the end, I would end up in terribly wrong situations or feeling this was a bad idea. And that would bring me towards a bitterness. Because then I start thinking in self-reflection mode of, why am I not good enough to make this happen? Right? Why am I not strong enough to keep this person in my life? Why am I not smart enough to complete this project? And come to find out, I am strong enough, smart enough, broad, classy enough or whatever, smart enough, right? We talked about this before, the amount of devaluing that we do by trying to do so much. Um, it that bitterness shows up as quantity, right? I'm going to do this and this and this and this and this. You go to a networking meeting, right? And there's like a bunch of devalued people building businesses who are, a they own a cleaning agency, and they also have, a nail salon where they are also the mechanic, and it's all them. Now, I'm not talking about like where you go out and you diversify and create multiple streams of income. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you doing so much that you're fucking tired, okay? And you're presenting this, I do all of these things, and girl, I'm busy, yeah, because I got so much going on, as a shield, but in reality, you're devaluing yourself. And it's a form of bitterness, right? Especially if you're a projector. Now, if you're not, this may not be for you. And anything I say, if it is not that, resonating with you, then just chuck it in the fucking bucket, like I told you, okay? But if you've been to a networking meeting before, okay, I hate them. I don't like going to networking meetings. Oh my god, it's just the amount of inauthenticity that exists, and I'm just like, oh, okay, let me just get through this, because it's a bunch of people who are just trying their hardest to just put out, this is what I do, this is what I do, this is what I do, and they're not connecting. There's networking is not connecting. They're not connecting. They're not seeing where they fit in somebody else's puzzle, right? Like, you know what I mean? They're not. They're just, hey, this is what I do, guys, broadcasting, okay, and I also have a car detailing, and then I also do this, and it's like, does any of that like really align? Are you aligning with your purpose? Was your purpose really to create so much mess in your life that so many things to do that you're just so tired? Is that really your purpose? I don't know. Look, far be it from me, because I have to sit around and wait for you to ask me what you think I need to tell you. And so that's what I've been doing. Sitting around waiting for people to ask what they feel like I need to tell them after watching a bunch of people just, sit around in devalued mode, right? And I talk about this like with the Creatrix, community, right? Especially as a creator, you're not going to want to put out quantity, right? It's not about the quantity. The only time the quantity really matters when you're creating is when you need to get as many fails out, right? So that you can you can hone your skills, right? So, however many, blank canvases you destroyed trying to get to feeling into what you needed to put onto a canvas, that quantity, that is where quantity matters, okay? But not how many different canvases can I put out there? How many different crappy songs can I put out there just because some algorithm, says I need to put out a bunch of songs, right? How many different drawings can I put out there because, I need this many in a book, okay? How many poems can I write that are likely garbage because they're not really reflections of where I'm really feeling or where I'm really going, just so that I can complete 100 pages, right? So that's the only time I feel like when quantity matters, is when you're doing your practicing, when you are honing your skills. That quantity does matter, okay? But when you are putting out who you are and truly, authentically you, then it's about quality. Then it's not about quantity, okay? And that's where you see these, like even creators having to do something for a contract, let's say, right? And that contract is it's like this many extra additional things that you need to do so that you can get the money, right? And what I like now is that the energy is shifting. So the energy is shifting to where people are seeing this and saying, no, I will give you me on a quality scale because I value me. Okay. If you want somebody who's going to devalue themselves and give you 10 of something when I'm going to give you one awesomely awesome thing, go find somebody else. And that's what I loved about getting back to, and it all ties together, okay? It all does tie together, all right? The whole bitterness portion of it, that's when you know that you are in this bitterness spiral, this, shame and, guilt and bitterness spiral, is when you are at the part where you're like, I am doing so much work and nothing is coming from it. And I have a bunch of crap here that does not reflect who I am, is not me, is not any type of, reflection on me. That's when you know. That's when you're like, I need to reel it back in. Okay. So that was the bitter broad syndrome. And that was, I believe, where I was. Now, I'm not going to lie. I think that the waiting portion can be the hardest part. The sitting, and it's not really sitting, okay? When I'm saying I'm sitting around waiting, I'm not like just sitting on a couch waiting, but it's the unknown of, is someone going to find value after seeing, where I am? And is someone going to take that value and move forward with it so that we can create awesomeness together, right? Because the projector is basically there waiting for a generator, right? type to come in, meld their energies together, and create and alchemize this awesomely huge and beautiful, wondrous thing. For however long that is. Sometimes it's a 2-week project. Sometimes it's a 1-month project. Sometimes it's a 2-year project. Sometimes it's creating a family. Sometimes it's a marriage. So, you see what I'm saying? But it's basically a projector coming in with a generator. And from what I understand, if you have a reflector to come in and tell you that you're doing a great job, or to basically be the gauge of if you're doing the good job, that's even better, right? Might even end up with like a manifestor in there also to make it happen, okay? But I can only talk about me as a projector, okay? So I am to sit in and wait for and wait back looking like, oh, that, yeah, I wouldn't have done that. Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna work for you. Go ahead and keep trying and watch and learn. And then eventually someone comes to me and goes, hey, Asia, good evening, Dr. Asia. I would like to know if you would like to offer blah, 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 blah at my space. And I'm like, hell yes, because that's what happens. That's what happens. So now I have a new series coming up in August where I was invited into a space to create a sound healing series workshop for my community. And I'm like, hell yeah, let's do this. All right. Anyway, more details on that to come. Okay. But that's basically how it works. We have to be, we have to value what we have as projectors. Okay. Even more so. Right? Because if not, then we're just going to go out there and create a bunch of crap. And creating a bunch of crap is going to create a bunch of bitterness. And that's just how it is. I didn't make them rules. Apparently, you have a problem with that, go to Rahu. Okay, because he's the one that did it. Now, 39 minutes in, we are in on energy readings for this week. Okay, so to this week, I'm back to my Mind Info Oracle cards. I still don't know who made these. I don't know. But I like them. And every so often, I feel, And every so often, I feel like they give me, they give me what I needed. Let's see. They are not in. I apparently went through something last time I used them. All right. So we're going to start with Earth. Earth energy. That's that uh, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy, right? That's stable, you know, energy that everybody loves so much. Create things, make things pretty type energy, right? Whether you have this as your sun sign, your rising sign, especially as your rising sign, maybe your moon sign, maybe you just have a whole bunch of this type of energy in your chart, okay? Your card for Earth. I'm not going to go through, but y'all not going to get me on this today. I got you. Earth, ask for help. All right, there's your Earth signs. Ask for help. You're being asked to request help from another. You don't need to deal with this issue alone. There are many people who want to help you, but it's up to you to bravely ask for their support. It's a sign of strength to reach out. Do that today. And I would like to say that if you are waiting for help, I, as a mental projector, am just sitting around waiting for you to ask me for help. Shameless plug, but there was Earth energy. All right. Air signs. That's Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. All right. So if you have that type of, go lofty, judgy kind of, I say judgy, Libras, they're kind of like judgy, like they're able to like weigh and judge, that, perfected, I don't know what else to say. It's very ethereal, air signs, right? But they're lots of fun. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. Air signs, compassion. All right. So you're being asked to be kinder to yourself, to give yourself a break instead of being a taskmaster, a bully, and a horrible friend. Be a loving comforter who always has your back. I don't know what you guys got going on this week. I was watching the energy, astrological energy for this week. Oops, fire. And it was very interesting. Now, we are still in that go energy. Some things are coming up, like it's next week, that might, halt some people, but like right now we're still in that go energy. So, maybe you want to show some compassion for yourself as you're working through what this looks like. Maybe that's what that was for the air. Earth, air, fire, detach. All right. So this one says, you're being asked to detach from something that you've been holding on to. Ooh, that's so hard for a fire sign to do. I'm not gonna lie, right? Like detaching, y'all just gonna burn through the shit. You're not gonna even try to detach. Like, nope, I'm done, right? When we hold on too tightly to the desired outcome, it restricts the flow. Trust that the outcome will work out and let go of your attachment to it. Let it burn. That's from a fire. All right. And lastly, water. Woo. Yeah, I messed that one up. I know. I messed that one up. Hopefully that wasn't for you. Water energy. That's Scorpio. Yes, I did put Scorpio first because I'm Scorpio. All right. But if I was going to go in order, I'm going to say, I guess, what would I say? I would say Cancer, and then Scorpio, and then Pisces, because I believe Pisces is at the end of the chart, from what I understand, because I believe Aries is the beginning of the year. So anyway, water energy. Here you go. Protect. All right. So you're being asked to protect yourself and your energy, which is what I said I was doing, right? Because I got my boundaries up because I'm an empath, right? And so I'm protecting my space, and I mentioned that. All right. Anyway, let's go with it. It's okay to want to give to others, which you do effortlessly. It's important, though, that you set healthy boundaries with your energy before doing so. Now is the time to get some protection in place. Which I think is cool because, I mentioned I'm a Scorpio, right? When that's at water, and this was the water card, and it's not like, you know what? I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go with it just like I always do. All right. And if any of them resonated with you, feel free to leave a comment. Let me know that it resonated. If you are just now seeing this, the whole thing goes on the YouTube only, really, and maybe the Facebook, I think. Still haven't figured it out, but I know it goes for sure on the YouTube. Okay. And if you would love, I would love if you would, I would love if you would, if this resonated with you at all on any level. Subscribe, share it, comment, do those things. All of those things are free, by the way. Those are all free things that you could do. You don't have to like buy any of my stuff out of my shop. Okay. I got a new journal coming on Amazon. You don't have to like, buy my stuff if you don't want to, if it doesn't resonate. Okay. But these are free things that you can do. Joining the Creatrix community, also a free thing that you can do. Following me at Asia Stormborn on any of my socials is a free thing that you can do. These are all ways that you can support me for free, because I know how y'all get when you're creative and you're like, yo, money is tight. I don't know how to support this broad. Okay. Anyway, that was my plug. All right. Earth, ask for help. Air, show yourself some compassion. Fire, detach from that shit. And water, protect yourselves. All right. Until next time, I am Asia, the Soulful Creatrix. I am wishing you nothing but love and peace and many continued blessings. I will see you in the next time.